All right, good morning, everyone. It is Saturday morning here in the Pacific Northwest, and I clearly just experienced a little time warpish, time bending moment this morning. So I'm coming on an hour late. Oh my gosh, I just can't even believe it. So I came on just about a minute early to give you all time to find me and pop on and let me know where you are checking in from this Saturday morning as we talk about Earth communication with the star beings. So, um, yeah, why don't you pop on? Just let me know that you're here. Again, apologies for those who were on at 8 o'clock and I wasn't here and you had other things that you needed to do, but absolutely the recording is going to be here for you to listen to later on. Just want to make sure that everything is working. So if you'll pop on, I see that there's 7 of you here. Good morning, Esther. Thanks for letting me know that you're here. So I'm just going to start by taking a drink of water. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, um, so I'm talking about Earth communication with the star beings. It is perfect time as always. I do know that, and we've got a watcher in who's tuning in from Spain. But the last few days, I've been meditating on this talk, and I'll just tell you, I don't even know where I was or what day it was, but I'm here now. So my name is Nancy Rebecca, and I've been talking about the blue light movement, the frequency of the blue light, and the blue light star being since 2017 when I had my first visitation from them. And it's interesting that I hear from a lot of you who find the YouTube videos, who find the blog, who have had your own experiences, and that's kind of what led you here to these talks. Is that many of you will write me and say, I typed in blue light, or if I see blue light beings, to see if anybody else is out there talking about it, and that's how they make their way in my direction, or the blue light direction. But this is the thing that is really fascinating that I thought that I would share with you all. So my website is intuitivemind.org. I've been teaching psychic intuitive development, advanced levels of meditation to be able to connect with many dimensions. I am a registered nurse, but I had a very huge psychic awakening in the mid 90s. And so the other day, so there's this thing connected to the website. So it's called Google Analytics. And I added another kind of analytical program to kind of let me know, you know, what pages I need to kind of clean up, or how I can expand my blogs, or, it just kind of gives you that little insight to improve the quality of the website and improve the quality of the blogs that go out. But this is the thing that kind of blew me away. And I want to share this with you because many of you are here. You're tuned into the Blue Light Talks. You've been following this, and it's going to be a big year. And I'll review that really quickly as well. But I've been teaching about the human energy field as a registered nurse, the value and how valid it is and vital that you have a healthy human energy field for the optimal health of your physical body, emotional, and mental state. That's what I've been teaching for 28 years. Since 2017, I've been talking about the blue light. So anyway, it's like the first 50 entries of the analytics of what people are tuned into. Did you know like the first 50 are like all about the blue light? All about the blue light. And I said, oh my gosh, my desire what I've been doing for 28 years is to teach about the health of the human energy field. But I said it kind of looks like people are only interested in my chocolate chip cookie recipe, which I kind of call the blue light. It was kind of my hobby. It was kind of my thing here on the side. And now all of a sudden, it's like the world wants to know. People are tuning in from all over the world because they want to know about the blue light and the star beings more than you want to know about your human energy field. So, and I tried to keep them both very separate. But that's not happening anymore. And especially here in this month of June that's coming up, they're really starting to kind of cross over. They're starting to blend. Those two dimensions are starting to blend. So that is why I'm talking about this today. So let me tell you what happened. What happened to me this morning. So for those of you, you might not have known that I was supposed to come on at 8 o'clock. And I've been giving these talks, for 3 years now or more. I have never been late with them. So what happened was I thought today was Friday. So this whole morning I got up and walked my dog. My granddaughter had Friday off. She came to spend the night. So in all that, this whole time I thought it was Friday until I called one of my friends who said, "Oh, I'm waiting here for you to come on at 8 o'clock. So I'm going to explain a lot more about what happened, but there was definitely a time warpish kind of event that happened. That time and space got flipped. And it's almost like I lost an entire day. So again, I will explain more what I was doing that caused me to lose a whole day. But I can remember yesterday as Friday. I can remember the events of what I did, but total flip. Okay, great, Elaine. Glad you made it as well. So what's happening here is in talking about how the Earth communication is sent out to the blue galaxies of the blue star beings. So the question that they asked me and they kind of illuminated was, Nancy, did you know that all of humanity is sending out signals to us? That there's a radiance that comes from the Earth that sends signals out to the entire universe. Now, I do know that the planets radiate a signal. I do know that the universe radiates signals. I do know trees radiate signals. And I definitely know that humans radiate signals, but I never thought about it in terms of going that far. I knew if I walked into a room and there's several people there, you can kind of get a sense, kind of tap into that frequency, that vibe that's going on in the room. But no, I didn't actually ever think about what is being radiated and communicated to the star beings. So, and what they said is, yes, not only are you sending high frequency telepathic messages to the universe, each and every one of you as spirit out there in very high level dimensions, but you're also sending out frequencies at the human level, what's unconscious. So those unconscious aspects about how you feel. So you may feel and be experiencing great joy and happiness, and yet at the same time, you can be feeling and radiating deep sadness. And that's really what our work here is on Earth, is to bring balance and harmony to our spirit, what our spirit's feeling, and what our body's feeling. And what's significant is that the Earth body is becoming more of a light body. It's raising in frequency. So the blue light, this is what's been happening. So they first came to visit in 217, and 219 was the big first surge that came through in China. And when that surge came down as this column of light, it came straight down into the earth. And I can tell you that it felt like time stopped on the whole earth. It's like the pause button was clicked, and it's like everything stopped. there was this immense stillness. And then it's like in less than 5 minutes or 5 minutes, the start button was hit again and everything started moving again on the earth. And for us humans, we may not have experienced, we may not have noticed. But I can tell you that I've heard from many of you that you had an incredible life event change that happened shortly after that. One of the biggest events that happened after, it was November 19th, 2019. But that happened in November, and 3 months later, we had a global pandemic from the COVID virus. Now, are they connected? I believe that it's connected. After all of these years and meditating on it, I do believe it's connected, but I don't think that I have that high enough level wisdom to understand that its purpose and why. So then in 2021, again, it was on November 19th, there was another surge that came through Mexico. So again, each time these big surges happen, they're kind of putting 2 years in between to get everything kind of acclimated to these new high frequencies. What I know, in 2021, we did have another surge, a new variant of blue light that came, COVID, that came through at that time. And then there were some other big political events that happened, wars that happened, those kind of big events that I believe were the outcome of consciousness on the rise. So higher levels of enlightened, wise consciousness came to the surface, and the frequency, like corruption, violence, hateful, harmful events, those frequencies cannot be sustained at those higher frequencies. So what happens is that those kind of stuck lower vibe frequencies come to the surface so that the blue light can transform it into a higher frequency of light. And then we kind of look around. I don't know about where you live, but we definitely, crime is on the rise. And so what the star beings say is it's not really on the rise. It's just that the old energy that's stuck in the earth of corruption that's happened for years and taking advantage of other people, that's coming to the surface to be transformed. So it's triggering us at the human level. Okay. Now here we are in 2021. And so I'm going to mention this briefly so that we can get onto the other information that wants to come through. So I was sitting with, this is 2023. So now we've had 2 years in between. 2023 is going to happen in the area of the Southwest. And it's now, what they've told me are the 3 mesas. So there is a book that I highly recommend that you read. It's a little complex, but for me, called the Orion Zone. Orion Zone. So it's the connected to Orion's belt and the planets Sirius. So you might want to get that and read it before November. So it does talk about how these 3 mesas, they're about 50 miles apart from each other. So this is significant. So what's going to happen in November are there are going to be 3 separate dates. So mesa number 1 will get activated on a date, and then 2 weeks later, mesa number 2 will get activated, and then like 10 days after that, mesa number 3 will get activated. So I'm going to be talking more about that as we start getting closer to that time. Now, what the star beings told me is your high level consciousness can go way out to the universe, but your low level, so let's say anxiety, depression, sadness, competition, making things harder than they need to be, low self-esteem, all of those kind of, it's almost like they have a heavy weight to the frequency, so they can't travel as far. I might imagine a basketball player can jump up really high, but yeah, you try to get me to jump that high and I might go 3 inches. So they are wanting you to know today that you send out 2 signals. And so that's what they wanted to talk about, is they wanted you to write down what kind of messages you want to be sending. They want you to be more conscious about the messages that you are sending. But they also want you to know they can hear the messages that you're sending that you may not even know that you're sending. So the blue light beings, they ask you to know that they want you to know you communicate with them all the time. I drew lines under that, all the time. So we are going through this immense transformational change over the last few years. Now, I will tell you, this is 2023, that surge. I don't have information after that. This isn't like it's going to continue every 2 years for eternity that I know of. I was just told there's going to be these 3 events in 2019, 2021, and 2023. So this one in 2023 is huge. So that information is coming through. What's happening here? So June 3rd, 4th is a big full moon in Sagittarius. So this is significant as well. So there's 2 words I want you to write down on your piece of paper, and I want you to do your homework, because my knowledge level of these things is just tiny, tiny, tiny. So the more of us that can bring in that high level knowledge, it's going to be helpful for us all. So the galactic core, so you want to write that term down and watch YouTube videos, get more information. And then the great attractor. So Shauna, I do see that you're asking to provide the name of the book. It's called The Orion Zone. So if anyone can look that up and include the link here, I would really, others would really appreciate it, so that they can order that book. So So we have Aquarius. So we're moving on June 11th. We're moving out of Aquarius. Pluto's moving out of Aquarius, and it's moving back into Capricorn on June 11th. So this is very significant as well. So the great attractor and the galactic core. So I'm trying to think. I'm talking to the blue light beings, and I'm like, okay, what order do you want me to do this in? So they're asking me to shift a different order, just really briefly, before I talk about the galactic core and the information that's going there, and talk about the great attractor. So right now, write on your piece of paper numbers 1 through 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you don't have a piece of paper, you've got a good memory, just go with that. But write down numbers 1 through 4. And then for just a moment, close your eyes. And the reason why I have you close your eyes, I always tell my students, when you close your eyes, your spirit can teach you. When you close your eyes, you turn within, your spirit can tune in, tap into you in much more subtle frequencies. Now, numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. I want you to notice whether you feel or you hear a frequency or you see a color or you know a color. which one of those is blue. So imagine like a little blue orb. It might even be like a blue pulsing orb. Which one of those is blue? And you might have more than one that's blue. If you're not feeling, hearing, seeing, knowing, then just guess. Just guess. Guessing, pretending, making it up works. And then once you kind of know which number, you can type it into the comment section, which number. I'm going to give you a little bit of information about that. So where those blue pulsing lights are just the blue kind of orbs, we're just going to take like 1 full minute of quiet as you sit with those numbers that are blue, and just get a sense, get a feeling. I'm going to explain what it means here in just a minute. 1 minute of quiet. All right, now go ahead and open your eyes. And now next to line number 1, write paternal grandfather. Your father's line. Your paternal grandfather's lineage. Number 2 is your paternal father's lineage of his mother's lineage. So the paternal grandmother's line, ancestral line. Number 3 is the maternal grandfather. So it would have been your mother's father's line. And then number 4 will be the maternal mother's line. So the maternal grandmother's line will be number 4. So wherever the blue light showed up shows which lineage holds the star seed DNA in your ancestral lineage. So which line that had the blue holds the star seed DNA that has been carried through since the beginning of time, since the star beings first came to the earth, that you still carry that star seed, the star seed DNA. Cool. So that's why I said, so for some of you, you have 2 lines. On the average, when I do ancestral readings for people, most people, I'd say good 80% have 1 line of star seed. Then there's about, another 15% that might have 2 lines, maybe 3 lines. Now, there's only been a couple of times where I have read someone's ancestral lineage and all 4 have the blue star being star seed DNA. And both of those times, the individual was an indigenous person. They were, indigenous people who live on the earth. So they have still very, very strong ancestral lineages from their ancestors that came from the galaxy, from the stars. So pretty cool, hey? To know that you carry the star seed and which lineage you carry it in. I never thought about that exercise before the star beings brought that through. And so they wanted you to have that information before I talk about the galactic core and the, I'm like the great attractor. I'm still like, I don't think I'm back from the galactic core. All right, so the galactic core it holds like a lot of universes within it, or a lot of galaxies within it. You're very welcome, Priya. It is cool, isn't it? So in that galactic core, according to this man who wants to be very anonymous, who's been studying this galactic core and the great attractor since the 1960s, but he wants to remain anonymous. He doesn't want to be found on a Google search engine. However, when he was talking about the galactic core is filled with all the knowledge that exists now, is yet to exist, has ever existed. And when he said, when you meditate with the galactic core, he said, it's really a cool thing to do, like to meditate with it, kind of connect with the galactic core. It's really cool. You can really tap into high level knowledge, blah, 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 blah. Well, it only took one little invitation for me to decide to do that. But what happened was, and it was really cool when I did that, but he did say, but you cannot bring the information back with you. You can't bring that high level knowledge with you on Earth. Well, I thought I could figure out a way, but I will tell you, I lost an entire day, just to let you know that. So if anybody decides that you want to meditate with the galactic core, yeah, you might just want to write on a piece of paper where you live, what kind of body you're in. You're in a female or male body. You might want to write down the date to really your age, really reacclimate yourself. So that's what happened to me, is that, and it really activates your star seed qualities. So, so that happens too. Those get really activated. And with the full moon that's opening in Sagittarius, Sagittarius is really all about the galactic core and the great attractor. So the great attractor is like this big black hole that kind of draws planets to it. And our entire galaxy, according to Philip, is being pulled. There's a huge gravitational pull towards the great attractor. It's always been there. It's always been happening. This didn't just start yesterday. And I can promise you, Yvonne, who's a Sagittarius, my eyes roll in the back of my head every time she tries to explain what the great attractor is, because she's a Sagittarius. But what's happening is, according to Philip, is that as our whole galaxy is moving towards the great attractor is pulling in gravity, it bends time. Time can go around corners. It can go around bends. You can make leaps. Like, think about a slingshot where you can make leaps through other dimensions at the same time, like skip like 5 dimensions. So anyway, so that's what happened to me. That's what I want to say. That's what happened to me. I will respect those meditations a lot more after this. So what I've said all of that. So this is why the star being stopped me, because they wanted you to know which lineage your DNA, your starseed DNA come from. And I have written about star seeds. I've also written about the different type of star beings that come from the galaxy. And there are other Sirians and Pleiadians. There are the Lyrans. There's a lot of Arcturians. I don't even know how many different star beings. So again, you can go on YouTube and Google it. There's a lot of people talking about it, especially now. So we're going to do this meditation, and that quality that you have of the star being quality is going to really tap into that frequency. It's like, remember E.T.? It's like phone home, that little light that came on his finger. It's like phone home, phone home. It's almost like those starseed qualities in you are always kind of sending out messages to wherever the home is of your most ancient ancestors. They are here to help us, but they cannot interfere with our process. They're like, ooh, we know it's hard. It's like we've fallen down, skinned our knees, and they can't even put a Band-Aid on it. It's like, but they've got our back, and they're really helping to try to smooth out the process of this kind of activating consciousness as much as possible. So we're going to do a meditation and send out messages that you wish to radiate out to the universe, but we're going to do some really good grounding first. And for those, I just want to say, who did not feel like any of the lines lit up blue, you just wouldn't be tuned in to this call today, and you wouldn't be tuned in to watch the replay later if you didn't have some of that in your ancestral lineage, the starseed. All right, so let's go ahead and close your eyes. And turn within, really check in with yourself. And tune in specifically to that frequency of whatever lineage or lineages that have the star seed qualities. So see if your own frequency of star seed in your DNA gets a little activated and starts radiating out from your core, your DNA, that blue light. I have heard from some of you that you're just a little nervous about connecting with the star seed, the blue star beings. And so just call in, an ascended master that you can feel comfortable with to be with you. And you do not have to connect with the blue light beings, but maybe you want to bring in an archangel or Jesus or Mary or Buddha, Kuan Yin or Shiva. Now you're going to ground yourself to the center of the earth using a blue light. So let's go ahead and above your head, allow the blue cosmic celestial light to flow down from high in the cosmos, slowly flowing down into the room that you are in. This blue cosmic frequency is going to come down through the top of your aura, and it's going to fill up your entire auric energy field with this blue. Let it flow through the top of your head, your human body. Allow that blue to flow through your skull, your whole head, into your brain, into your eyes, your ears, the base of your skull, your throat. Just let this blue light, the dissolver of illusion and the enhancer of truth, let it dissolve all illusion that you may hold in your energy field. Nice. Down through your throat, your shoulders, your arms, into your chest. Remember, the celestial blue frequency is also connected to the dolphins and the whales, the mer people, the high intelligent frequencies of the waters. So for some of you, you may actually hear the sound of trickling water, of the mer people, whales, and dolphins. You may hear that sound, or you may feel them moving through the ethers in the room that you're in. So go ahead and continue to let that blue come down through past your diaphragm. Past your navel area into your lower abdomen, front and back, into your pelvis, front and back, side to side, and then down your legs, flowing out past your feet, your legs, into the earth with this blue light, with the intention that the blue cosmic light's going to connect at the magnetic core of the earth with the blue crystals that are there. As this blue celestial light is passing through, it's almost like a honing device. It's like in your DNA, the star seed that's of your DNA can get activated. It can start to pulse. It can have a frequency. It can send out a sound. And it's just like that's how dolphins, that ultrasound, that sonic pulsing that they can send out to find each other, or the whales that use it as a navigation system to travel along the ley lines, or the mer people that also communicate through sound. And the blue beings of light also communicate through sound. So now, while you're in your room, allow that blue aspect of you, those star seeds, and what you want to telepathically communicate through sound back out to the universe, back out to the star beings. Let's just take about a minute or two of quiet as you send out those really heartfelt messages that you wish to express to the universe. Just like a sonar or a sound frequency that goes out, there's going to be a response that comes back to you. And so, just again, it's about really tuning into the subtleties of the fine, fine frequencies. So, allow those, the sound, the communication to flow back to you, and then you're going to respond by going back out. So, it's going to be this pulsing of in and out, gentle in and out, and see if you can pick up any kind of communication or message from the galaxies. go ahead and send a message of gratitude for thanking the star beings, and let them send the frequency of gratitude back towards you. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes, and you might just want to quickly make some notes, because it has a high potential of kind of disappearing, or you won't be able to grab a hold of it consciously, because it was such a high level sensory experience. So you just might want to make a few quick notes before before it's gone. So for everyone who's on now, or who will be watching, listening to the replay, remind yourself of how old you are. Remind yourself of the actual date you're listening to this replay or this live. Remind yourself, if you're in a male body or a female body, where you live. You want to really start getting yourself back into this third, fourth, fifth dimensional realm. There you go. Oh, that's feeling better. Let yourself look around the room that you are in. Look out the window. Just really get yourself reoriented that you are here in a human body. All right, so we have just a little time. If anyone wants to ask a question or share an experience, I will read that out loud. It's Christmas Day. I'm blue. That was super cool. From my side, it was just like everybody was in a different dimension. It was definitely, I don't know if it's time stood still, but there was definitely this absence of time. And it like, even now, I'm sitting here on this chair, and it literally just felt like a wave of water just went through. It just literally just felt like my chair just rocked. And so I thought, I could probably not say a word, and you all could stay in that suspended state for a long time. But Spirit did say to bring you back, and that you can always revisit. But what I would suggest, if you revisit it, that you set a timer so that the dinger goes off, because you could stay in that state for a long time, a few hours before you come back. So set a timer that's going to have a sound to it, or ask somebody to come in 30 minutes and make sure that you're back, just to make sure. So the message that someone got was expect miracles. Somebody else on Facebook said their head feels better. Warrior Girl on YouTube is saying, wow, my aura is vibrating intensely. Another Facebook user saying, good things are happening. That's great. The best is yet to come. I love it. Warrior Girl saying, yeah, it did feel like time stood still. And for me, I didn't set the timer, but it was like, Oh, wow, I better come back here. Priya, I felt a lot of pressure in my crown. I wasn't able to decipher any messages, but I will do this again and see what changes. But overall, she loved the experience. Yeah, that was awesome. So I just want to remind you all that the summer solstice event, so remember we're going into the full moon on the 3rd or 4th of June. Remember on the 11th of June is when Pluto shifts back into the sign of Capricorn. So there's going to be some shifts there as we're creating these new containers of light, that we're creating light bodies. And then we're going to have the summer solstice, which of course is always a great time for these portals to open. So there really is high frequency knowledge that's coming through. So go ahead and make sure that you read about the Great Attractor and the Galactic Core for fun, just for fun, be that little scientist with the white lab coat on. You're going to do your own research as we all grow in knowledge, as this knowledge is coming to the earth. And then the other thing is that in each and every one of you, new inspirational ideas are getting sparked. And so don't think you're crazy. I was listening to something where they said, the Wright brothers, when they were going to fly a plane, everybody thought they were crazy, and they came to watch them die because they thought there's no way this plane could fly. See, they had that spark, they had that idea that it could fly. And now look what's happening in 2023. There's planes everywhere. All right, everyone. So if anyone has a question, I'm happy to answer the question, but I'm also happy to close up this call so you all can go get a drink of water and maybe put your bare feet in this lovely grounding earth of ours. So Warrior Girl is saying a request to talk about how these energies are affecting the children being born between 2000 and 2011. What's interesting is my granddaughter is staying here, and around 8 o'clock, which I didn't know that I was missing, I asked her, I said, can you feel the frequency in the house? Because she's very empathic. She's 12. And she said, yeah, I can. And I said, and what can you feel like right now? What are you sensing? And she said, a lot of calm, a lot of calm. So that's a really good point, Warrior Girl. And I will definitely do something. So yeah. All right. Thank you all so much for being patient and understanding with the delay, and enjoy the replay for those who are just tuning in now. And feel into your starseed qualities. So, because they're waking up. All right, everyone, take good care. Thanks for popping in today. Have an awesome, in the United States, we have a holiday weekend, so enjoy that. And I'll tune in with you all next month, but sign up for the group reading at the solstice. Take care.